Okay, so I did a video of the overall wave count, where I think we're going to go on the last video. You can watch that first if you want. That's telling us we're going to go to like 450-ish for this B wave. But let's go a little bit more in depth and talk about the open tomorrow, because the open will tell us a lot about what's going to happen and how soon it's going to happen. And I think the best time frame is probably the 5-minute actually right now. I went over the 5-minute for this wave right here because you can't see the waves very well at all because it was such a straight line down. But if you go to the 5-minute time frame, you can see this is what I made of it. I have the first wave right here, second wave right here, and then this looks like a third wave right here all the way down, and then a fourth wave right here. Good bounce. It bounced to about the 0.23 fib from the second to the third. And so this would be the fifth wave. The question is that going to be the end of the fifth wave or the first part of the fifth wave? So that's the question that you're looking into at the very start of this, the open tomorrow. And so what I'm looking for is, where exactly are we going to open at? So let's say we open at 431. We get a 1% bounce tomorrow. I would consider that pretty much finishing. This wave would be finished. This fifth wave would be finished because we cleared the fourth wave. And so that would invalidate this as a fourth wave. That would basically say this is the fifth wave. We started the first wave, or the first wave of the A wave of the overall B wave, if that makes sense. But let's say another scenario is, that's the first scenario. We gap up over the top of this fourth wave at 430.44. So that's the first scenario. Get over that. Second scenario is we bounce to about, let's say we bounce to 427.94 to 428.50 or higher. Let's just say we stay below the top of this and we bounce between 427.94 on the top. And you can look at the structure and you can see it's an ABC structure. That's the second scenario. So we'll say in this area right here. I'll go over what you do on each of these. So second scenario right here. First scenario, clear it. Third scenario is, because I don't think we're going to open up flat. Third scenario is we keep on going down, which I think is probably the least likely scenario. The third scenario, and I've done the fib retracements on this. I think the farthest we can go down, based on those, if this is only a first part of the fifth wave, is about 418.74. I'll put that out there right now. So let's say we do gap down at open, which I think is very unlikely. Then I would just, if you have calls, I would just hold, because that's going to be so overdone. That's going to be a huge bounce. We'll probably bounce. If we go all the way down to 421 right away. We'll probably bounce. We probably bounce about 430 just on the bounce, and then you could tell for sure that the fifth wave is done. The most likely scenario, in my opinion, if you're thinking about it psychologically, is that we do this right here, the second wave. I think that clearing this is going to be the least likely, because that would just make it obvious that it's over with. If it did 428, then you could technically say, oh, we bounced, but then it still has potential to come back down here, but it also has potential to go bounce, bounce, and then go higher. So up, down, higher, or here and then break down to a new low. So three scenarios. I think that it's very unlikely that we just trickle down here to 424 and then bounce. It's going to be a dramatic move, in my opinion, since we had a dramatic Friday. But so if these scenarios happen, I currently have calls, and my calls are for like mid-May, and they're around like 4:30. So I need to get above 4:30, which I think is inevitable. I don't want to say definite because nothing's ever definite, but pretty good chance. So if you have calls and it bounces right here, the only thing I would do is just hold your calls. If we get right here, you got to look at the structure of this second wave, and if it looks like an ABC structure on the 5-minute time frame, then I would highly consider hedging your calls with some short dated puts. Maybe like you could do the 0 date till expiration, or you could do Wednesday's expiration, and then maybe do like 425 puts. Because if it's an ABC pattern, you know it's going to probably break this low, and then that would mean this is a first, second, third, fourth, fifth wave, all the way down to whatever. I said that the lowest it probably can go is about 418.73. So first wave, or first scenario, hold on to your calls. You would close your puts if it breaks this, obviously. If you have puts, I would just hold on to them too, unless it breaks this top. And if you have calls, hedge with some short dated puts. And if we gap down again, then you can buy calls if you want to play it like that, because we're probably going to get a huge bounce. And that's probably what a lot of people are hoping happens if they don't have options yet. They want a gap down here so they can buy more calls, or they can buy calls, and put holders want that too. And so that's another reason I think that's probably the least likely scenario. I think the one that makes everyone guess the most is a 0.5 bounce. So like a 0.5 bounce of about 2 points from 425.51 to 428.85 or so. Everyone, that will scare put holders, that will make call holders a little bit more comfortable. And then if they did this, if they go here and then they gap it down, that could shake people out of puts and then screw over call holders one more time. That's actually the most likely scenario, in my opinion, is we do hit here and then come back down even more. So 418 to 422, something like that. And then on Tuesday, when we have earnings coming up for Apple and Microsoft on Wednesday and Thursday, I think, we start just gapping up and going. And I think we end the week somewhere around 440. So just 3 scenarios that I would look out for and how to play them if it works out that way. It remains to be seen if this was the end of the 5th wave or the start of the 5th wave. So just wanted to make a video that's a little bit more in depth. Either way, I think we are still going to 445 or 450. So maybe higher than that too. And then ultimately down to 400. So just wanted to make that video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe.